is Tommy Ferentino. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you for having me here.
You do a variety of things.
Yes, I do.
One of the things you do is you help people with insurance and information for nonprofits.
That is correct.
Let's start there.
Okay. Well, like I said, my agency, it handles pretty much all forms of insurance. And we specialize in a lot of niche marketing. And one of our biggest niche markets is nonprofit organizations. And it really, I took to it like a fish to water. It was kind of like a happy accident. Before I got into the brokerage end of things, I used to work for an insurance company, and one of their specialties was in nonprofit organizations, and I kind of landed on that playing field. And as I was helping these organizations, well, most of the brokers putting the policies together, I started to get an affinity for it, and it really like pulled me back a little bit. I remember growing up. My family, we weren't rich by any means, but we never knew that we were broke.
You just didn't know, right?
We just didn't know.
There was food on the table, you were good.
That's it. The bills were paid, there was a roof over our head, so we were happy. And, we always lived by that code that if you have the ability to help somebody out in any way, it's your moral obligation to do that. So that always stuck with me. I carried that from my grandparents, my parents. So when presented with the opportunity to insure nonprofit organizations, I thought, hey, that's a great idea. I went to Catholic schools. I grew up in churches, so I know what that nonprofit community's like, and I see what they do for the community. I see how they help people out, how they help people in need, and I just enjoy being part of that. And one of the ways that one of the two ways that we help a nonprofit organization is, one, we try to save them as much money as we can, because we know dollars are very precious to a nonprofit, especially in today's economy. And that money can then be repurposed towards new programs, developing new programs, existing programs. When we do substance abuse centers, there's a lot of programs that they can use that money towards, as far as educating and helping people out, and even putting up, housing developments. So that's a really great feeling to have, that knowing that you're part of that. And another way is to protect them, making sure that they're completely insulated from all the ills and harms that could befall any type of an organization, including a nonprofit. Sadly, there are some unscrupulous individuals out there that will sue for, whatever reason. And we just want to make sure that our organizations are protected. And a lot of times it doesn't just stop there. That's just the business end of it. We're a very hands-on type of agency. We always develop a rapport with our clients, especially our nonprofit clients, and we look for other ways to help them out, whether that's making connections for them in the community through networking, or just being out and about, or just saying, hey, you know what, I came across a good nonprofit attorney. Why don't you give him a call, have him take a look at what you have, and maybe he can help you out or something like that. And other ways is, attending their fundraisers, volunteering, championing their cause. I have one organization that I work very closely with that I met this young lady at a networking event, and we just started talking. She told me what type of an organization she had. They're an awareness group for breast cancer. The name of the organization is Moms Who Kick. Great organization, and it kind of hit close to home because my mom underwent breast cancer surgery. And I know she was having a tough time with it, And this organization sheds a positive light on it. It doesn't focus on the negative aspect of the surgery itself, but more, you're still here type of thing, and you've kicked cancer's behind. So I thought it was just a great message, a great organization. And, as we were talking, the insurance came up because she had asked me what I did, and the policy that she had was good for a startup organization, but she was well beyond that startup phase. So, she had asked me to take a look at what she had, and I'm very blunt, if you have a bulletproof policy, if you're where you should be, I'll be the first guy to tell you that. And then I'll leave you my number and tell you, hey, give me a call if you have any questions. I had a girl from Kansas the other day just call me to pick my brain. So, you know, we developed a very good relationship just working together that way. And I don't even consider her a client. I consider her a friend. So, you know, that's just a small part of what we do.
That's fabulous, and you really like it, obviously. You're very passionate about helping people. So basically what you do is you're like a hand holder, if you will. So if there's a nonprofit organization out there, you're someone that they can trust that will help them, you know, from not only their policy, but also protect them in other ways and also help them and give them ideas. And you're very supportive. So what happens is you befriend your clients, I guess,
yes.
and then you get sucked into the causes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say sucked in. I mean, it's
okay, welcomed in. How
yes,
about that?
Thank you. Thank you.
They hug you into the fold. So I get that. So it's great to have you here, and I know that you like to do some cooking, and you're passionate about a lot of things. So
yes.
we'll welcome you back.
Okay.
And we'll have you back on, and we'll talk a little bit about spicing it up and living it up and having fun restaurant style.
Cool.
So we've been visiting with Tommy, and he's a great guy. And for more information about how you could help a nonprofit that you care about, contact us at liveituptvshow.com.